Welcome to our first installment of the Teamworks video podcast, where you guys get to meet us, see a little bit about us, and we're going to talk about some interesting topics week to week.
Can't wait.
So to start off, we want to give a little shout out to DeMar Hamlin. Glad to see that he's doing all right. Glad to see he is up and talking as of today. Hopefully he keeps going. Turns out like Christian Eriksen gets back to playing again soon. So Denny, let's give a little bit of background about yourself. You know, where you come from, who you are.
Absolutely. So I am Denny. I am from West Warwick, and I've worked at Teamworks now for 5 years. I started out as a part-timer, and then transitioned over to a full-time league manager. And now I'm working at all three facilities, which has been a very interesting and fun time, to say the least. And
Great transition.
yeah, you know, we're hoping for the best in the future.
Okay.
So for those of you who don't know, the three facilities that Denny's talking about are Teamworks Somerset, Teamworks Seekonk, and the original Teamworks Warwick.
Yeah. So I am Beans. That is my full and legal name. It's just Beans. I have done many a job at the Teamworks facilities. I started out in the Teamworks Warwick as a camp counselor. From there, I transitioned to part-time night staff, interim camp director, now director of social media marketing, party director, interim camp director, and tips director in Teamworks Somerset. And yeah, that's all I've got for now. We'll see what else is to come. But I love it. It's great.
True story, I actually didn't know Beans' real name until a year after I knew Beans. I didn't really know what his real name was.
It took the submission to payroll for you to figure it out, and for corporate to yell at you and
basically
go, who is
yeah,
Beans?
Corporate's like, who is Beans? I'm like,
It's me.
we'll get in a future podcast, we'll get into that story.
There will be a photo that goes
In depth.
Yeah.
And you are, my good sir?
I'm Steve Simmons. I'm the general manager over at Teamworks Somerset. We took over the building September 28th of 2022. I got tasked with putting that building back together again. I have an awesome group of people. Beans and Denny have been helping out. Beans is now actually a part of the Teamworks Somerset staff. Denny might as well be. He's been doing enough work there, to be completely honest with you. I couldn't have done what we've been doing without these two guys and the rest of the staff at Somerset, who've just absolutely been slaying it. A big appreciation to all of those of you, the ladies and the guys, who are trying to make that better. So we're looking forward to having some good things to come out of Teamwork Somerset.
So now that you guys know us, we're going to get into today's topic. So today's major topic. You know, we are an indoor sports facility, so we've all got our own opinions. But Denny, what do you think the best sport is?
Besides deferring the sport of soccer, that I gave up very reluctantly, I would say the best sport is tennis.
Ooh. Hot take, I love this.
Okay.
So talk to us, why do you think tennis is the best sport?
Tennis is the... Would you like to come have a seat?
Yeah, I'm going to come sit back
Okay,
down. I
perfect,
needed to
perfect,
take a
perfect.
breather after that
You
one.
need to take a breather? Okay. You okay?
You alright?
Everything
I
okay? You're right. Okay.
It got hot in here from that take. I can't handle that.
I believe that tennis is the best sport. One, because it is very relaxing. It can be very frustrating, but for the most part, it's very relaxing. It is one of the more popular sports in countries who may not be able to participate in other sports with a lot of equipment. You know, hockey, lacrosse, those sports are very, you know,
They require
money consuming.
money.
Yeah, and tennis, you need a tennis ball and a racket. You don't have to wear anything fancy. Your shoes don't have to be anything specific, and it's just one of those sports that you can play up until, you know, you're in a wheelchair, and even then you can still play. So I mean,
You play?
I do play. I play.
Cool.
I played 3 years of high school.
Oh, I did not know that about you.
Yeah,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Coached the high school team at West Warwick now. Been the head coach for a year. I was an assistant coach for 4 years, and basically, you know, it's been one of those things that even as coaching, it's a stress reliever. It's one of those things where, you know, coaching any sport, you would know this, that you might know this even from coaching, just you, the teamworks. It's one of those things that, you know, giving back, it's so huge. And honestly, I mean, being a coach shaped where I am today. So tennis, I would say, is one of those things that, you know, has shaped my life, and it's probably shaped many lives before, and will continue.
Nice.
Okay, you know, see, as somebody who also played tennis in high school,
Absolutely.
I can understand where you're coming from. To dispute your point about tennis being played in a wheelchair, you can also play soccer in a wheelchair.
Absolutely can.
I respect the take.
Grimacing look.
Soccer's the world's sport, man.
That's hard to argue.
No, you're not wrong at all.
It's hard to argue.
That's why
But for me, not the best sport. It's the world's game.
Okay.
All things taken into account, I do not find that soccer is the best sport. Basketball.
Talk to me.
Please
So I
elaborate.
mean, we both have played.
I played too
In
in my youth.
I assume, right?
And you're
I'm
a
just saying-
coach.
I just started coaching.
You're a coach.
Absolutely. I'm more into the stats.
Where you coach?
I coach at Tollgate in Warwick.
Okay.
Shout out Tollgate.
Titans.
So, basketball, you know, you see it all the time. Can be played anywhere, any type of ball. I mean, granted, you got mini hoops that go in the rooms. Who didn't grow up with a mini hoop?
Yeah, no, I had.
I had
one. Yeah,
I had
one. I mean?
Yeah,
Honestly, for me, most entertaining sport to watch. You don't really need, like, obviously soccer, like you have, it's very, very straight, cut and dry. Pass the ball around, one team puts the ball into the goal. There's a lot more that goes into it though for soccer for me. Like, it's a chess match. So as somebody who's played soccer, you know, you can notice a whole lot of different things that people who don't play soccer notice. So it's like people, and that's why the World Cup is such a big thing, is because, you know, that's when everybody gets hype into it. But for those people who truly know and understand the game of soccer, they get into it because it's a chess match. You can see little things that other people who don't watch soccer and don't fully understand the sport see. Basketball, it's like, yeah, you can see that, but, you know, one player hits another, obviously it's going to be a foul. You can kind of tell. Put the ball in the hoop. There's a certain amount of points. It doesn't take that long to figure it out. My grandma can watch basketball, even though she's not a basketball fan. She's got that on lock.
Shout out to his grandmama.
I love you, Gene.
Valid points, but you can put an athlete playing basketball, teach them how to just dribble and make a layup, and you have a basketball player.
It's the ease. Makes it the best sport.
Easy doesn't make best sports. For me personally.
But think about it too. It's also quite difficult.
It is quite difficult.
Take a jump shot. Ooh.
Look at that form.
Tollgate's coach, ladies and gentlemen.
Nothing but nylon.
Statistician.
Listen, it's. I think you both make really good arguments for both of the sports that you chose, right? Like, tennis, I would not have thought of, truthfully. But then when you made your argument for it, I'm like, I'd buy that for $1. I tried tennis. Nope. No.
You were hitting home run
derbies.
derbies.
Oh, good God. Absolutely. Absolutely.
We both play. We know how that goes at the start. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, but in college, I transitioned to racquetball, which was
Okay.
you know, I thoroughly enjoy. I'm awful at it, but I absolutely enjoy playing it. But that was like, that's my racket sport, right? So like whenever
Fair.
I want to play that, like that's my thing. But like again, like it was because I didn't get that training. That wasn't big in our family growing up. Like we were badminton, like we played badminton growing up.
Yeah.
But that was like, you know, one of the things that mom and dad played with us in the back. That was
That's
pretty cool.
That's the cookout game, right?
Totally
there.
is. It
100%.
absolutely
That's
is.
the cookout
Yep.
game right there.
Yep.
Now the cookout game is can jam and cornhole. So, what's your sport?
All right, so this was tough for me. I knew you weren't taking soccer. I knew you gave up soccer. So I was going to take soccer. And then I realized I absolutely know nothing about soccer. I don't want to lie. It's not that I dislike soccer. It's just, again, it was not a sport that I played growing up, and I watch it now, and I still don't understand everything about it. Like, I honestly feel like you two should literally give me a class on, like, understanding soccer. Like, legitimately, and it would probably, like, completely, like, I would be able to appreciate it more. My experience with soccer, like, watching it, like, the stuff I like is indoor soccer. I love being able to watching people use the boards. I had a blast when I lived, so I lived in Wisconsin for a number of years. I'm originally from Mass. But I lived in Wisconsin for a number of years, and there was, I think it was the Milwaukee Wave, and if I'm wrong, for those of my Scotty friends who are going to watch this and absolutely roast me, and I'm perfectly okay with that, I went to an indoor game, had a blast, absolutely loved it, like, I love the pace. I like faster paced sports in general.
Yeah.
Basketball I played growing up, I still play every once in a while, so for me, since I do like faster paced sports, I'm going to go with, this is going to be no surprise to either of you two.
Nope.
Volleyball.
Honestly, I was expecting him to say, when he said faster pace, I was waiting for hockey.
It actually came down to either lacrosse, hockey, or volleyball.
Okay.
And since
Okay.
I probably know the most about lacrosse and volleyball, I decided volleyball for the following reasons. Similar to what you're talking about in terms of expense. Volleyball, you literally need a ball. If for anyone who plays volleyball, a bunch of us just pepper. Literally, we'll like pass the ball, set the ball, hit the ball at each other, right? You don't even necessarily need a net. But growing up, like two poles and a string, you could even play with it there, right? That was a big sport when I had phys ed in school, so I thoroughly enjoyed it. I actually didn't really start playing volleyball though until after college, and I started playing in Florida. But now, like, as someone who still plays, someone who has helped coach youth, and I actually am a referee as well. Yes, you can boo right now. It's okay, I understand. Yeah, thank you. But for me, here's why I like it, right? Similar to what you were saying, it's accessible, it's not very expensive. You can get a cheap ball with dicks for like $10-20, right? So like it's very accessible to anyone. 1, 2, anyone can play it. You don't have to be 7 feet tall. You can be 3 foot nothing. Volleyball has a position for literally every height on the court. Vertically challenged, not being able to jump high, it doesn't matter. Regardless of what it is that you don't have, as a sports expert would say, there's a spot for you on the volleyball court, and that's what I always loved for it. And in today's world, co-ed volleyball. You can play the sport, and these guys will tell you, in most of the leagues that we run in tournaments, they are co-ed. We have single gender tournaments, we got men's tournaments, we have women's tournaments, but the vast majority of the tournaments that are out there, whether it's what we run or what other places like Yankee Volleyball, shout out to Yankee, or any of the other places around the New England area run, it's mostly co-ed, right? Whether it's RCO, whether it's men's height net, it doesn't matter. Like, guys and girls, and you look at like the teams that go to nationals, there are players in their 80s still out there. Every year there's always like a video story coming out from national, how you have like the senior team that comes out. I saw a video last year. This woman was like in either her 70s or 80s, and she is diving on the floor. I can't do that right now because I would fall apart. But there's this woman who is taking, props to you, young lady. This woman in her 80s or 70s, I forget. That's how terrible I am about remembering stuff. Diving around, like, and you can play that sport like all the years around. Like, as a ref, I frequently see grandmas in the crowd and grandpas. It makes my heart, and like sometimes I go over and say hi to them, and they'll talk about how they either used to play or sometimes they'll be like, yeah, I still play. Gives me hope.
And going on to Steve's point, you guys got me into playing volleyball. I am very unathletic for the most part.
False.
He's an elite.
Fake news.
Elite level goalkeeper right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, there will be a video of
tag
that.
the video of him getting nailed in the face. and
Yeah.
passing out.
Yeah.
That will be in a future podcast.
I still feel
Maybe
as if
this
you were in the
one.
right spot for that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely in the right
great
spot.
save.
You're right in the right position.
Great
Just-
save.
We don't want to give them too much info on it, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I save the ball with my head more than I do with my hands, so that's the gist of it.
We'll let you judge.
so to my
Mhm.
your credit, going a little bit, start a little bit of a rebuttal here for your your
Absolutely.
volleyball point with people in their 70s and 80s. Going into yours, I see people in their 70s and 80s playing tennis.
Absolutely.
But also, I see people in their 70s and 80s playing basketball. They have
True.
old people's basketball.
They do.
league, specifically. And there's it's like non-contact, but they like. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
I'm
No,
sure you've seen
absolutely.
it on social.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's out there for any age. I feel like you really
Yep.
gotta
Yep.
find the spots, you know.
Yep. And listen, whatever it is that you think the best sport in the world is, you're not wrong. Everyone's going to have their own personal favorites, right? Like, it was hard for me because, like, volleyball is my favorite sport now. It actually finally surpassed lacrosse. Probably within the last couple of years, lacrosse, by the way, is my favorite sport up until recently.
You played college.
I played high school, college. Yeah, I played even after college.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
I didn't know you were a lacrosse person.
Yep. Big stick, midi.
Okay.
This was back when I was actually thinner. Shout out to Mom's Cooking, which is amazing. And my lovely girlfriend, whose cooking is also really amazing, has made me the shape I am.
That's
So,
a big day.
That's a huge one.
down below in the comments, let us know what you think the best sport is. I think the things that we want to talk to you about are what's really coming up, right?
Yeah.
So, in the future for our podcasts, we're going to go over what we have going on in each of the 3 buildings, which is Teamworks Warwick and Warwick, Rhode Island, Teamworks Seekonk, which is where we are today in obviously Seekonk, Mass, and Teamworks Somerset, which, as you can guess, is in Somerset, Massachusetts as well too.
Yeah, and then next week, tune in again, episode 2 of the Teamworks podcast. We will be discussing and doing a little bit of a draft. So we will be going over the best intros to television in sports. So things like the intro sounds on ESPN or Fox or NBC, things like that. So yeah,
Oh, I can't
we'll
wait
be
for that.
on there for sure.
Definitely stuff you guys have not heard of before.
It's coming. But yeah,
Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
peace. Ending. Teamworks logo. Shatter on the screen.